Welcome to Worth to be Seen. Today I have the pleasure to sit down with Mikael Rinholt, a fascinating individual with a story worth telling. Mikael has spent years exploring his field, his expertise, and through his journey he has gained insights that challenge the way that we see the world around us. In this episode we dive deep into his experiences, uncover the lessons that he has learned, and explore the moments that are truly worth to be seen. So we welcome Mikael to the Worth to be Seen episode today. I will first have you, yes, you please snap that one. So I'm happy to have you here, very happy.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I will just dig right into my questions. I know you a little bit from before, but I think that there's still a lot for me to unpack and to learn. And I'm really, really thrilled and happy to have you here.
It's going to be a pleasure to visit this pod. I've been thinking about it a lot last weeks, so it's a pleasure.
Lovely, lovely. So please, could you just share something about your background and what led you to develop this kind of unique leadership that you have?
My life started as a truck driver. That was my dream from I was a very little child. I wanted to be a truck driver. So when I was 18 years old, I became the truck driver of my dreams, and came to know that that was not my dream. My dream was to be something else. So I asked my boss of that time, what can I do to be like you? And he said, you have to wait, you're too young, you're just 18, 19, and others working like something like a transport manager or so are around 27, 30. You have to have experience and so on. And so I was a little bit depressed, and I just thought, okay, I'll just go on with this. And just made my best to do what I should do. And after a year or so, my boss called me and said, still interested in being a manager? Yes, I am. Okay, you're starting tomorrow. Okay, okay, I will do so. And around that time in the 90s, I always wear a cap because my hair was spiked and in different colors.
Okay.
Because as a driver, nobody noticed. You had a cap on and so on. But as a transport manager, you're supposed to have a shirt and looking something like you know anything.
Representable.
Yeah. So I went in my first day at the office with a shirt on, nice trousers, and spiked hair. And my boss said, oh my God, what have I done? But I showed him that it's not the spikes that makes you the person you are, but the man you are on the inside. And so I worked really, really hard and saw that the management that was in the 90s was depending on authority, bad words, a little bit to push everybody down, so they knew their place. And I thought, I'm gonna be the opposite of that.
Okay.
I'm always gonna think about the persons I have met during my trip through life, and if I meet someone that really needs me, I will make everything possible to see that person or to help that person take the next step in their life. Because I've seen bad leadership. It followed my path through my life. And I always try to defeat it, because I think one bad leader can make 200 people feel bad. But one good leader can do the same for 200 people to feel good and make their work worth doing. Not just doing it, but worth doing it. I didn't want to become one of the old bosses. I didn't want to do this trip through life. Not just becoming a boss, becoming a leader, because it's a big difference between a boss and a leader.
There is.
I can make people believe in me. I can make people take my word as a truth, and I can help them reach the next step. I can make them feel that their work is really, really good, and they're doing a difference. They're creating something by doing it.
Yes, that's true.
And I think that the last 5 or 6 years has really made a difference in my life.
We'll get into these closer, the 5 or 6 years that has been. But as I understand it, you had your point of view quite early in life, because this was very early. So you had your direction.
Yeah.
And this, as I understand it, has just grown stronger with your more experiences that you've had through life. It has become a stronger passion of yours.
Correct.
You have mentioned also, I'm a photographer, of course, and I've seen on your social media and things that you like sharing pictures and things like that too. So I'm just, as a sidetrack, a bit curious about that. How photos, if they make you feel in a certain way, or you use them as a tool to kind of get into moods or such as that.
Sometimes if I'm going on my social medias, I'm thinking about the picture first. I pick a picture, and then the words come to me, because if I want to share something with the one who views my social media, and I need them to feel what I feel, that can be a sunrise, that can be someone, often myself in the mood that I'm in, with my hair all messy up, or if I'm in with a blazer or so on, so I'm going for work, just because. And I think if you got the right picture, you don't have to put so many words into it, because the picture says it all.
Yeah, it does.
And
it does.
you can make people feel so many feelings about that picture, and it often gets a great response from the viewers. You were at the beach, or you were at that meeting, or you were. Why are you always traveling around?
Yes.
And that makes new contacts, or that makes the contacts that I have contact me again and asking, why are you doing this, or why are you doing that, and that makes me a little bit. That takes me a little bit further on my road through life, because everyone I meet has a different story.
They do,
and
yes.
often comes from the picture. So I like to use myself as a photo, but that often because I like to show me as I am. I like to be open. I like to be. This is me. This is what you get.
Yes.
If you're my friend, or you're my colleague, or you're whatever, this is what you get.
Yes, I've noticed that about you, that you are very transparent.
Yeah.
So you can, exactly what you see is what you get. You're kind of very straightforward. You're honest. You're honest with your feelings, what you're going through in your life, and things like that. And you do it in a kind of not judging way. You're more of you just kind of, this is how it is, and you're not putting so much evaluation or forcing people to think in a certain way. Photography, for me also, I sometimes use the photography or photos as a way to exercise myself, to hunt for good things. It's a way for, if I've done it consistently over a longer period of time, my mindset, automatic, is that I try to view things from the positive mind, because I have this thing going, and I have something called, in Swedish, called bra bild, like this is today's good picture or feel good picture. And I usually, set myself, I want to find at least one picture every day that makes me feel good. And not so much for the picture itself, it's more for the mindset. That way I'm looking for good things, and it kind of just puts me in that lane as it is. So it's a quite nice tool. And I guess you could do that with other things, so you can do it with writing, you can do it with painting, you can do it with music or whatever. But to me, photography is, everybody has a phone, or I bring one with me, and you always have the possibility to take a picture. And if that picture doesn't come to you by itself, just by going looking for it, kind of sets your mindset into that way of thinking. And yes, so that we have that in common when it comes to photography, using it as a platform
Yeah.
for something good.
Yeah, I really like to take the picture in the moment because I'm on the way to the bus and I just see, as it is right now with the yellow leaves on the trees and so on, and it's just in the moment that picture makes me feel this,
Yes.
and if I can make that other people feel what I feel, if it's hope or it's whatever, I can make them feel it,
Yes.
and I can use this picture to to tell them what I feel today. Because if I'm low, I'm always very open with today I'm low, and the next day I'm on top of everything, and then that's the way I want to be seen.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, I'm very transparent, and
Very.
I like to. I have nothing to hide due to my feelings, because every person goes through so many stages in life and so many feelings, and not to show these feelings is a way to hide yourself from yourself.
Yeah.
Very
True.
strange, but
Yeah,
it is like it is.
It is like that.
Because you just put on up a wall, and if I can just manage to push through your wall and make you feel your inner feelings, then I think that's very big for me. It's a great. It's so great to have that feeling, and get the respond back from the others that have seen. And I was in that situation. I did that, and you made me think that I am okay with feeling like that, and not being on top, not being the best every day, and nobody can tell you to be the best every day because you're only a human.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Those are very good features for a leader, I would say. Because it makes the ones that you are leading want to be led.
Yeah.
And I think that is the whole point of being a leader. Anybody could be a bully, or anybody could tell people what to do of fear or whatever. But having people actually wanting to follow or follow your example is way more effective, and also makes things so much more pleasant.
Yeah.
For everybody, and the more pleasant we can make it, the better it is. Of course, of course,
it is.
At the end of this cast, I will ask you for a word that I will leave over to the next person, and I have a word for you which I just want you to reflect on, either immediately or you can just reflect on it later. But you won't get my word until later, because I don't want that word to influence you of the word that you are given. So I would want to ask you first. Do you have a word that you would like to give to the next guest?
I do.
Please.
And my word is together.
Together. All right.
That's my. That's one of the strongest words for me. That you're in it together.
Lovely.
Whether you like it or not.
Okay. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so now I got that together, and then I will give you the word. You can think about it until the end and just reflect on it then. It was actually my son who gave it to me yesterday, and he came up almost immediately, just as quickly as you, he came up with the word time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So-
also...
That's a powerful word. It
it's
could
a
be.
very powerful word.
Yes.
And
yes.
just what the word time makes me think about, it's the time we have on this earth. What do we do with the time? And is every, when you're feeling like this is it, the time is now, that makes you try to make you something you're not, because you have to think about time as a road, a trip. And the trip, if you're going on a roller coaster, you're going up and down, around, and so on. And you're in it for the trip. We all know what the end of time means.
Yeah, we do.
But we have to make the trip and the time we're on this trip worthwhile. We got to think about every step of the way as only a step. This is not this is not the end of the road because of a bad happening or so on. You just this is just a moment of time.
Yeah.
So if this moment of time is 1 minute, or is 5 minutes, or is 2 days, 3 years, 10 years, I don't know, but it's just a moment of time. So when that moment of time is over, a new door is opening, because it's not over until it's over.
True.
So
True.
you just have to think about time as a gift. The time you have on this planet is a gift to you. We don't know what's coming after, and we didn't know what was before. But the time on this road, even it's a gravel road or a smooth road, is the road you have to follow, and the road leads you to new places and so on. So I think the word time is a very strong word, and for me, the time is what you do with your life.
Sometimes I think about, like, in 120 years from now, nobody living today will be alive. Everybody's going to be replaced.
Yeah.
So it's just a little fraction, and in say two or three cycles of that, I will at best just be a name that somebody heard of sometimes throughout my family or something like that. So we might as well just do what the best we can do with it right now. So it's an amazing reflection that they're giving there. So I appreciate it, and I will take your word with me together to the next guest as
And
well.
if I can just put in a little bit
Please.
to this word time, if I meet someone that had a very bad day, Monday or Tuesday or whatever it is, arguing with the family or so on, and when they are really, really low, I always tell them, you know, you got a chance to live this day. Many did not do that.
Because you're gifted with having the time, while
Yeah.
others don't even have the opportunity to live through the day
Yeah,
that you're
yeah.
living. So despite everything else, you're on the lucky side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got another day to
Yeah.
make worthwhile.
And you seem to be an expert on this, making things or seeing the positive sides of things. You have also spoken about, rising again after being
Yeah.
judged and things like so.
So many times.
Yeah, so many times, and we all go through it. But we, some of us will kind of define our life through what is coming from the outside towards us and hits us, while others will take whatever there is and kind of mold it to the life that they want to create with it. And you seem to be the latter. You seem to do it like that. So do you have any specific experiences that you could take as an example when you've been especially successful in this task?
Yeah, it's the life itself. It's been a real struggle. I've been defeated. I've been trying to be defeated several times, and in the beginning of my career as a leader or a sales leader or so on, I often made myself feel bad of what other people thought about me. And as the trip went on, I understood that other people's feelings about me should not defeat who I am. I should always see the next step. What's the next step? What's the next door? This door's closest. I have been through so many meetings with HR when they're saying no, or the HR and the boss saying, "Oh no, sorry, we cannot do this." Or I was on one company where I thought I was really, really safe. I really liked the company, and I really liked the people I worked with. But one day, the boss called me in to his office and said, "You are making so many other works around this work, so we cannot have you here. And you're not supposed to be here. You have to go now."
Oh, really?
And I said, "What?" I've been totally honest with that I'm doing this by the side, and I told you and I told others. So, and he said, "Nope, you're going out." "Can I get my stuff?" "Nope, you're going out."
Aye.
"I have my shoes in there." "You're going out." I would throw the shoes out.
Really? Is this recently?
It's been no, not this time.
Okay.
This it's around 12 years ago.
Okay.
But it was like at first it was a really really big shock.
Of course.
Standing on the street 10 minutes prior, I thought I was going to be there 25 years, the work of my life, and I really liked it. And seeing your shoes, thrown out of the streets, and your backpack and everything, your coat, everything. And the last word he said to me was, "I'm going to sue you for everything you made me suffer." So I just thought, what is this? And then I just sat down on the street and just thought, what happened? And why? The biggest question was why?
Of course.
Why did he react like this? And then I started to just manage to stand up again and just called my wife and said, I got sacked. I went, what? Yeah. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. And then she picked me up and we went home and we talked about it. And I really come to see that it was he was afraid that I would do anything with the knowledge I had of this company to make another company rise. And that was, instead of asking me, what are your priorities? What are you going to do? Are you just here for a short ride and take everything good, the good pieces, and then going to another company and make that shine? But he didn't. He made himself believe that I was there only to do, to use a very straightforward, walk in, fuck shit up, walk out. That was not my goal. But he thought so. And he made a decision and he went through it. Afterwards, I heard by other colleagues that he got to the insight that no, that was not the case, and so he just like backed off. But he was so proud, and did not. He could just have called me and said, "I made wrong. I'm sorry. I made wrong. I make it better," or something like that. I've learned my lesson or whatever.
Just
but
an
he didn't.
apology.
Yeah. So I met one of his other bosses 5-6 years after, and they said, "Yeah, he was wrong, but the time has gone," and so on. And I said, "Yes, I have no problem with that. Everybody makes mistakes." And so I just rose from that moment, and I thought, that's just another step on my way through leadership that I'm never going to react or do like that. And so even if I have been forced by others to make people go home or stop their jobs, I always did it with respect for the person. Because I know how it feels to sit on the other side.
Yes.
I know how it makes you feel on the inside. Your stomach is rumbling around, your heart is pounding, your tongue is thick and everything. I know everything about it.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I can feel what you're feeling, even if it's me that's the leader, and I am going to tell you that you're off.
Yes.
This employment is no more, and so on. You have 1 month or 30 days, so you go home now, whatever. I always think that when this conversation is true and you have signed the paper, and we meet next week on the street, I would like to make sure that the person I meet is not going to change side and look the other way. Because I want him to feel that I respected him or her, and I really did this with the biggest open heart. This is my work. I have to be a leader. But I'm also a human that knows and feels other humans.
Yeah.
So just for me to, even in this hard moment, make them feel that I see them and I know what they're going through and I know what the next step is with unemployment and or so on. And even if it's a employed that has been doing something wrong and doing some bad for a company or whatever, I'm always treating them with the respect, because I know everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has, if they're in their youth, they make many bad mistakes. And even through life, I'm 48, I'm doing mistakes every day. So just to learn by the mistakes and make that feeling and make them feel what I feel, and I can feel
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
That makes me that's what I think defines a good leader. And also, if I'm just skipping through time through the last employment I had, which I thought was the ride of my life. I have had the best leaders that I was in charge of. I've just best employers that I was in charge of. But when I came to the end of the road, that piece that, so to say, made my 10 years was that the boss that was going to sack me or did not make eye contact.
Oh.
And for me, I think that's one of the worst things that you can do, because you can make a decision, you can take it, you can do whatever you want, but if you're not man enough or woman enough to look to the other's eyes, even after the conversation, I said, the paper is signed. I'm not longer unemployed here. Can't we just be people? Just can I give you an advice, or can
Humans.
you just see me as I am? I'm not employed here anymore. You have made me sign the paper, so I'm going out through that door in 2 minutes. I just wanted to say this. Next time you're sitting in a moment like this, and you have a person on the other side that is a human, do not be afraid to look them in their eyes.
Of course.
Because I think looking in people's eyes makes you see. That's a mirror that you can see what they're feeling and so on. And I feel that's a little bit of my motto by love and respect, that you just see there. I know what you want. I know. I've seen the paper. No worries. Yeah, I've come to respect that decision.
Yes.
And I know I'm not the goodest of them all, but so this is sign now.
Yeah.
Let's just do this in a proper way.
It's okay to disagree.
Yeah.
It's okay to disagree and have
It
different,
is.
and the goals whatever goals they might have had didn't comply with what was the situation, but that doesn't mean that you can still look people in the eye. So I agree with that. It's very important to have eye contact, and it's kind of universal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Even I've noticed I've had dogs for the most part of my adult life, and taking or any animal, almost any animal that I know of, they're not even aware of their autonomy. They just see things. They're not even aware of that they're seeing through the eyes, and they're definitely not aware of that I'm seeing them through my eyes. No. Yet a dog will look you in the eye.
Yeah.
Or a cat, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They will look into the eyes as if that's where the connection is instinctly. Even if you don't know that is where the sight is coming from, that is still what you will focus on, which is it says something about how important it is because that is the uttermost connection we can get. Yeah. So.
And I always thought that if you're feeling something, you should tell them, because if I feel that you're not making me feel right, as I was in a prior moment of this 10 years of my career, there were changing bosses, and I was one of the ones that applied for this this service and I got to the point where we were 2 left, and the boss of the time told me that, I'm sorry, you're not going to get this. And I just said to him, okay, now I'm feeling very angry. I do not want to talk with you. I feel very sad. So I would just like to leave the room for 5 minutes and go out and be angry.
All right.
And then I come back.
Okay.
So I just have to do this. And he just, okay. So I got up from the stool and opened the door, went out and went through the hallway a couple of times. And then I went in. Okay.
Now you're good.
I'm good.
All right.
I know what you mean, and I can appreciate, and I can do this. I can manage it from another side. No worries. So, but I had my time, and I told you I was angry. So,
Yeah.
And after that, I told that boss that I really appreciate that you let me be angry, not making a big fuss of it, but just let me get out and do this angry and just
Come
back
back
again,
in.
come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
I know where we're going.
You got a good technique for that. I mean, handling your, because the emotions we can't really do very much about. We can only do something about how we react on them.
Yeah.
The emotions are there regardless we want them or not. If you're sad, you're sad, or so, or if you're upset or angry. But the way that we respond to our emotions is kind of our own responsibility.
Yeah, it is.
And not every time, it's not every reaction that you're proud of
No,
course.
of
But
course.
you seem to have a good technique to keeping it like in a contained and in a deliberate way. You use it as a tool, maybe to guide you through your actions later, which probably also has led you to this love and respect. You
Yeah.
end every single post I've seen with you on social media, be it Facebook or wherever,
Yeah.
Instagram or LinkedIn, it always ends with love and respect.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, seeing this, maybe also part of it is being a man, masculine, and stuff like that. You would react to it, like, oh, what is this about? It's a bit peculiar having a man
Yeah.
doing these things in that way. You see it much more frequently on the feminine
Yeah.
side.
It is.
But as it grew in, it came to be. You were expecting it, and I learned to understand what it meant, and I have come to really be fascinated about it, because you've been very consistent about this, and you've probably had all sorts of reactions around it, and but you're still consistent, and I admire that, because it's hard to keep that consistency. But you obviously very much believe in this,
Yeah, I do.
and I think that you were talking about your reason. You just left. You left your former job quite recently.
Yeah, I did in December.
Yeah, and before that, in that also you had some the personal or the social issues
Yeah, I did.
on top of all that. So right now, or quite recently, you've been kind of stumbling around in a lot of things.
Yeah, I've deal with a lot of emotion this year. Oh, the last year, I think like you have 1 year of this, like 24. You have maybe a fifth year or 10th year that everything seems to go wrong, and you just have to deal with it. But I think the year 2024 was one of my worst years ever. I woke up after 24 years as a married man and thought, that's not maybe the right way for me to go through life. So I had to think about that, and I had to just make the courage to tell my wife that I didn't want to live with her anymore. And with that came a lot of emotions. I was pretty sure that I was going that way, but still, there was a lot of emotions to it. It's 24 years of your life, most of my adult life. We've been together, and just then make that decision in the middle of the summer that this is the end of the road.
Yeah, that's a huge thing.
And make her understand what I wanted, make her understand what my feelings were, and through that there was a lot of conversations with her that we never had before. That we could really be honest and let the feelings flow. Just if I'm angry, I'm angry. If I'm sad, I'm sad. You don't have to play that you're happy or anything. You don't have to do. You don't have to create this persona with this the different layers of goodness or so on. So that it was one of the worst times of my life, but it also was a very good time of my life, because I got to get in touch with my emotions in a way that I've never been before, because I thought of myself as a person that never gets mad or angry or breaks, just storms out and just being really, really angry.
Living
and
it out, yes,
yeah,
in effect.
yeah, and when that occurred to me, that that made me feel good to be angry, really, really angry, and let
Yeah.
all of this out that I've been
Yeah.
holding in for so long. Just thinking, you just go through this. This is a part of life. You just build it. Just put it in your backpack. Just do this and do that. And when I just came to the insight that this is the end of the road for this part of my life, and now I have to be completely honest why I'm not going any further on this road, because it was some of a shock for my wife also, of course. So she had to deal with her feelings, and I had to deal with my feelings. But the moment we got through this, the first steps of this way, I think we got to the next level regarding how we spoke to each other. Because I can be completely honest. I do not have to put any pink fluff around it. Or
No.
this is how I feel today. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
And I really, and this, when you tells me this, it makes me feel like this. It's very easy on the work side to tell people, when you tell me something like this, it makes me feel like this. But on the partnership or the marriage, that's one of the hardest things, because you have so much put into this marriage, so you don't want to make her feel bad or sad or anything. You always want to have this straight line through life. Everything is good. Everything is good. Yeah.
You want peace.
I want peace.
Yes.
That makes you think a lot. I walked through the beaches of south of Sweden, Beddingestrand and so on, many times. Just letting the wind blowing in your head and just open your mind. Feel sad. Cry a lot. I've not cried for, I think 10 years. But this summer I cried of anger, of guilt, of sadness, of joy. So
Everything.
every feeling, every emotion, just do the layers, take off the layers one by one, and then just totally open. This is me. This is what I am. And then just try to define myself as who I am. Who am I without a marriage? Who am I without a house? Who am I without work and so on? So I have to just redefine myself. Just make things. Who am I? Where am I? I mean, I'm still in that progress. Who am I?
Yeah, because pretty much everything of you went out the window.
Yeah, everything.
Yes.
And I had the job that I thought I loved. Been there for 10 years, and I had everything stood up, I thought. But then in a moment of time, just like with snapping fingers, it's gone.
Your identity is kind of...
And I thought, what am I without my work? First I thought, what am I without a marriage? And then I got through this a little bit, and then this happened just before Christmas. And I just had to sit down in the moment of time and just think, what am I without this?
These things.
Is this that defines me? No, it's not. So when I went out the door of that work, I felt a big relief. It makes strange to say it, but it made me feel like this is the door that closes and I'm up for the next door. I do not know what that is, but it's coming. I know it's coming. I know the door will open.
Yes.
And when that door opens, I would just walk straight through it, without a doubt, just going through it. And I'm still working for it.
Yeah, it gave you the opportunity to walk through new doors and other doors that wouldn't be of that opportunity otherwise. So yeah, you should. Changes are, for the most part, good, although they frighten us. They frighten us because when things are stable and the way they've always been, we're not really exposed to anything. But when changes are about to arrive, just the changes alone gives you frightened feelings.
And I think it pushes you through life, the changes, because if you don't make changes, you're never getting anywhere.
No,
you're just standing still on that place. You think you're doing a new life, a new steps on the way. But really, it just makes you stand on the same step, and then when something like this pushes you right out, then you have to take the next step, because or else you rumble on so on. So you have to take the next step, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
So I think when one door closes, another opens. And what you also know is who are your friends. Because there is a picture, and sometimes it's on social media, about a church, and there's only 2 people on the funeral. And she says to the man, but he had 3,000 people on Facebook that were his friends. Yeah, it's like that. Because the ones that were your closest friends on the workplace, where you're not longer working there, it's really, really fast to see who were your friends and who were your friends to get benefits from being your friends. And the first time that happens to you, it makes you really sad.
Yeah.
Because I thought, or I was thinking, and so on. But through life, you get to know this.
You get to expect it.
Yeah, people uses you. That's the main part. And if you just not expecting that, then it's no shock, because you know in 2 or 3 days you'll be forgotten. They've found another way to do this, and so on and so on. Just like life, it's you go through different periods, and but of course it hurts sometimes when you think we had so much fun and blah blah blah, and then nobody calls.
It does. But you're still consistent with this, the love and respect. But before I continue with that, I just want to, through this period of your time now, so you said that 2024 has been your, one of your worst years probably, or that you've been through. Yeah. So have you had anybody whom you've talked to, either professionally or, in a way that can open up your feelings to perspective, maybe, or have you dealt with them kind of on your own?
I think I have been a little bit stubborn there, because I have dealt with them on my own. Many of these questions that come to my mind, I have to deal with myself, because I have to make myself feel good again.
Yeah,
I have to, and I think that my own sense that it's okay to break down. It's okay to have a really, really bad day.
Yeah, I guess you have to from time to time. It's needed.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to take the cover and just put it up over your head and just lay in bed and feel really, really sad for yourself.
Yeah.
And pity yourself a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Why not?
And I think that's okay, because you have in mind that the next day is going to be better. And yes, it's been a really shitty day, but tomorrow will be better, and the next day will be even better. And when you got through the Monday, you know that the Tuesday is coming, and if you get to live, but we hope so. So just step by step, because I think that December was really, really bad for my feelings. I just felt like, okay, no job, everything went bad this year. But then in the end of the year, I thought, no, this was the door that we closed. When 24 is over, we have closed this door. No looking back, just looking forward. And what come will come. So when next door is opening, or next opportunity, I will be ready. And I have never had the pressure on me that my next job should be as a leader or should be as a boss, because I always had stood on a steady ground. So if they're telling me you're going to be the garbage man, that's no problem for me. I can be the garbage man, because I know that that's a step on the way. Because I've done so through my life. I've been a leader, and then I had to leave that because of something, and then I went back to the roots, and then going up again, and then going down to roots. And so it's made me.
So okay, so how have you, when you've been a leader then, and let's say you would be a leader again, or how would you integrate this, the love and respect part of your leadership, and how would you advise others? Say you won't have a leader job the next time, but if how you've done it and how would you influence other leaders to implement this into their leadership?
I think the biggest step of my leadership is to see people for whom they are, because I can talk with everyone in different stages of their career, or if their bosses are ordinary staff or whatever. I can talk with them on their level, but the ground for it all is that I can see them. I see, why are you feeling like this? Even if they have layers, they're on high management, high boss. I can see what defines them, and just to be open, to just take in all their feelings and just make them feel seen. Because I think that's one of the biggest issues we have today, is that we don't have the time to see each other.
Kind of goes well with the name of this pod, doesn't it? Worth to be
Yeah,
seen.
that's why I thought when I saw this pod, I just thought, that's me.
Yeah.
Because I hear it often from people who calls me or contact me by social media that have been my employed before, or someone I worked with, that tells me that your biggest positive side is that you saw me. Nobody saw me but you. And that makes me feel really, really great, because that's one of my main issues in life.
Yeah.
To just see people.
It's true.
If it's
true.
bus driver, or it's the cashier, or anyone working with maintenance. I know in my prior job, I had a lot of people working with maintenance and cleaning and so on. And they always said to me, my work means nothing. Nobody sees me. I'm just a shadow. They don't want me to be seen. And the first time I heard it, I was really, really mad, because that person had worked with this job for 35 years and always had a feeling of not being seen. So that was one of the positive effects of COVID, because when COVID struck Sweden and the rest of the world, all of a sudden their job as cleaning of the hospitals was one of the most important jobs. So when the doctor saw the cleaning lady and told her, your job, you did a very good job. Oh, please, could you do an extra cleaning in this room because we had a COVID patient? And she said, of course, that's my job. And he saw her. That made her be like 3 meters high.
Of course, yes.
And that was the best part of COVID, that people never seen all of a sudden was on top of everything.
Yeah.
Because if they did not clean the rooms, they could not treat the next patient. And during this worst period of COVID, it was really like a little bit of hell, because new patients came in all of the time and people dying, and worst of the worst. And just to know that you make that work you do is really important. Made those people working with maintenance and cleaning do their absolute best every time, as they did before. But now it's seen. Everybody sees it.
Yeah.
The newspapers reporting about the knowledge of these people working for 35 years on the same spot, doing this, knowing everything. So just to see people for who they are, not so much of what they do, but for who they are. Because to make people seen is to make people believe in themselves.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Wow, that's amazing. So, do you have any goals or projects or so for the future that you that are kind of in your mind right now? Of course, yes. Would you like to share any?
Yeah, I would really like to help other people reach the next level no matter what that is. If you're starting a business or you're starting a new part of your life, or you just like to learn more about the leadership through love and respect and what that means and how to make a change in your own leadership. So something like a coach, and I would also really like to maybe take next step as a leader, trying to make this a new project in love and respect, and because I really love people, I really love people.
Yes.
Regardless of who or where or what, I really love people because I always try to see the best in everyone, because I think that makes you stronger as a person, and that makes people open up to you. Because
Yeah, it does.
I do not judge anyone, because I've done my deals of things in life that I'm not proud of, but that do not define me because I am a person first, and I have a heart and a big heart for everyone. So if anyone comes to me and tell me that I have this problem, okay, but how have I been through it myself, or can I help them to take the next step, or why do you not come further in your life? Yes, because this is holding me back. Why is this holding me back? Yes, because of. And so I can see every people. So being some kind of coach on some kind of way, doing what I love the most, just seeing people, talking to people, make people feel what I feel.
Sounds amazing,
Yeah.
really. And that sounds like a very good project, and you're very good at it too. I was thinking about it now as you said it. You love people, and you like to not judge people,
Yeah.
and so. And I think that you give this very comfortable atmosphere around everything, and it feels like it's easy to open up, or
Yeah.
it's like you really want to,
Yeah.
because there's not this judgment built into it,
No.
and that makes things feel very uncomfortable. What I would like to say is that I'm pretty sure that you're going to be on this podcast more times. I'm sure there will be opportunities for you to come back, because I feel that there's so much from you that we can't really just fit it all in one go.
Of course.
So I think that we will maybe wrap it around here.
Yeah.
If you have any final words to say in the show before we leave. And then I think we should just plan for maybe getting a different angle, because you have very many layers. There's many ways or perspectives to get into this from the part. So I would like to kind of book you in pretty much immediately. But please, let's wrap this one up now. And you have the final words for today.
My final words are just to keep seeing people, keep looking, keep respecting each other. Just let the love flow, because I think but the way we are going in the society and the world today, the world needs more love and respect. So with that said, it's been an honor to be on this pod, and I'm really looking forward to next time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, thank you, Michael. It's been a pleasure having you here.